Good morning, folks. We're on a good Wednesday. Today I'm going to talk about the mind yet again, and the reason why I'm going to talk about it is because of the things that are happening in society that we've just seen this last couple of days, and the potential of what is coming along and how it's going to affect us. So we've all seen the latest crap, the monkeypox shit that's coming out, and the latest narrative to keep us in fear and keep our energy repressed. But the problem here is, going off the previous experiences of lockdowns, there's potentially another lockdown coming up. And the thing is, what I noticed through people's training was, when the environment they're in is running conducive to what they want, training is a lot easier. But whenever the life throws you a curveball and you have to adapt, a lot of people fall back to their old habits. And then what happens is their training suffers, and obviously their physical health suffers, and then they start their mental health suffers because they're not feeling good about themselves. And this whole cycle of pain begins because simply our mindsets were not strong enough in the beginning to cope with what life throws at us. Listen, we cannot control what the elites are going to do to us. If they're going to lock us down, they're going to lock us down. What you've got to ask yourself is, what can you control? What ability do you have to control in your environment? What can you do to ensure that your life runs as smoothly as humanly possible? Now, one of the things we can do is we can look after our physical and mental well-being. Regardless if you're in the house and you've no equipment at all, or you've got a fully equipped gym at your back garden, there are some sorts of exercises that you can do to help you feel better about yourself, build a better body, keep a strong mind, and push through whatever life throws at us. The problem is, a lot of us tend to allow what we see on the TV, what we read in the papers, what we talk about on a daily basis to affect our energy. And that then has us vibrating at lower energy, and we don't have the energy or the drive to do what we know we should be doing to help keep us at that higher energy. And this is what happened during the last lockdown. A lot of people, including me, put on a shit ton of weight. In fact, there were two types of people in lockdown last time. There were those who got themselves in shape and those who discovered round as a shape. You know, I was one of those guys. I discovered round as a shape. But we should learn from the experiences of our past, and then we should be able to take those experiences and the lessons learned and apply them to our present, or start preparing them for the future. Because ultimately, if they do lock us down again, if this monkeypox is the next narrative that allows them to lock us down for X amount of time, and your gyms are shut and you're going to be isolated from other people again, what are you going to do to help your mind stay strong and help your body feel physically capable of coping with whatever's thrown at it? Now, when in the last lockdown, we were confined. We were locked in and confined. It was boring. It was a nightmare. We were isolated. We were kept away from our friends and family, and that did have a mental effect. That was planned. It had an effect on our mental ability to cope with society. They've done experiments that showed that loneliness causes depression, not the other way about. Read the book. It'll come back to me in a wee second. Johann Hari. It's gone. That'll come back to me. But I remember his book. There's other ones, Chasing the Scream, and the one I can't remember. It's brilliant. But there's an article in it, or a chapter in it, that they talk about. They wanted to discover if it was like loneliness created depression, or depression forced people to become lonely. And so they done an experiment, and what they realised was that it's actual loneliness and isolation that causes depression. And if you're isolated, we're a communal species, we're a tribal species. We need other people around us for support, for networking, for feeling safe. And when those people are removed, we feel very isolated. Now, in today's society, even though we're more connected than ever via the internet, we have never been as isolated in the entire history of humanity. You know, we are very, very isolated. We avoid people. We've been conditioned to fear people, and we've noticed over the last 2 years there's a serious separation in society of people. We still don't trust each other. We're still worried about human contact, and basically all the things that make humans has been removed, or we've been taught to fear it, and this has had a detrimental effect on our health and our mental well-being. And now it looks like or come back to another stage where we could be possibly locked down. So rather than fearing this, what we've got to start asking ourselves is, what can we do to adapt to it? Because ultimately, your mindset right now is going to dictate what you do. If we were announced today, lockdown, bang, what would your go-to default position be in this? Would it be to shy away, fear others, or would it be to ignore it and try to just live your life normally? Have the strength to actually do what you need to do for yourself. Because this is what's going to happen. If it happens, there's going to be people who are going to lock themselves away, and they're going to be terrified to train, and they're going to allow themselves to be swamped and overcome by these feelings of fear that have been manufactured by TV and the media, which is designed to do that exactly. Or are you going to choose to ignore that, turn the TV off, and focus on this time on building bonds with your family, building bonds with yourself, healing yourself, and actually improving the life you have currently? Because if you look at other people in lockdown, it mightn't be your story, but I know a shit ton of guys and girls who use lockdown as a way to really improve themselves physically and mentally, financially. They done things right, and this is the whole thing about the mindset. It's not the situation you're in, it's how you adapt to the situation you're in that's going to dictate the outcome. And when you understand that and you realise that everything in your life, you've got a certain level of power to adapt to it. And if you can embrace that and you can accept that and you can understand that, well, then you can move forward with it. We can't dictate what the governments are going to do. We can't dictate what's going to happen to us on a worldwide basis. But what we can do is we can make a contract with ourselves, a decision that no matter what, we're going to make the best of it. Have you got the ability to train in the house? Right now, have you got equipment that's going to allow you to exercise and start working on the problems you know you have? If you mobility, yoga, internet, download something in case the internet goes off. You know, there's other things. If you need equipment, order a kettlebell, order a set of gymnastic rings, order a pull-up bar. If you've got a couple of kettlebells, a set of gymnastic rings, and a pull-up bar to hang them off, you have literally got a fully equipped gym that's going to get you in the best shape of your life. Because a set of gymnastic rings is literally the greatest upper body training tool you can have. Kettlebells, they're small, they can get a lot of weights, and they're very versatile. You can do a lot of dynamic and a lot of grinding moves with them that are going to allow you to build a good bit of solid foundational muscle. These are things that you can do today. But if you choose not to, and then life throws you that curveball, and you're not equipped, you haven't got yourself in the position where you're ready to adapt, well, then you've got to accept that that's your fault, that you are the reason why you're not. Because if other people in a similar condition or a similar situation are able to do things that you're not doing, well, then it's actual proof that it's not the situation and it's not the scenario, it's you. And this is something about ownership, and this is something about the mindset and having the strength of mind to be able to overcome and adapt to these situations that makes you a stronger human being. And when you get into your head that you can actually achieve these things and that you don't have to be a victim to circumstance, it empowers you. It allows you to move forward, and it allows you to keep pushing, driving to become the best possible version of yourself, regardless of the scenario, regardless of the situation you've been placed in. And this is where the world has become very weak. We're so used to having things given to us. We're so used to not having to do the work and having to stress ourselves to the point where like a struggle that we fear it. When the struggle comes, we fear it and we collapse and we go into ourselves and we blame others and we hide away from the situation we need to be embracing. And I see this so often, and it saddens me to think that there's men out there who are so weak and who've been conditioned so much that the thought of struggle, the thought of what our ancestors embraced on a daily basis, puts us into a state of fear and and locks us away from these challenges. We see them as a mountain, and when we see things as mountains, where most of us are scared to climb them, do you know? And it's sad because these are opportunities. They're not problems. They're opportunities. And if you can see like every single bit of struggle as an opportunity for you to grow and for you to overcome. And it's not about beating it the first time. That you are going to get beaten a few times. That's the whole idea of these life struggles. These things that your existence, it puts in front of you, these struggles you must overcome. You may fail the first time, you may fail the second time. You may have to go through that struggle 3 or 4 times before you get over it. But when you do overcome it, you're a different person on the other side. the guy or girl that you were before you attempted it is not the same guy that you are when you get over it. And that's going to give you tangible evidence, tangible proof that you are more capable than you thought you were. You can then choose to ignore that, or you can use it to embrace it and use it to drive yourself even further forward. And this is something I'm trying to get through to my members. It's something I try to get through to my online clients. It's something I try to get through to people I talk to on social media. You have the ability to achieve anything your heart desires if you're willing to suffer enough pain for it. Now, the pain doesn't have to be physical, it can be mental, and the pain it's unique to yourself. Because what I find a struggle, you could find easy. What I find easy, you can find a struggle. I know guys that would smoke 20 cigarettes and could still run a marathon, whereas I would struggle to run 4 miles. You know, that the running thing is not a struggle for them. But at the same time, I can also do a lot more things that they can't do, and for me it's easy, for them it's hard, and that's what I mean. It's in the struggle is unique to each individual, and the key is to actually recognize what is a struggle to you, and then understand and plot a path how to get over it. Now, that plotting the path could require you to reach out and get a coach like myself to help you, get a roadmap or a blueprint that allows you an easier path to it. Or it could be you going your own path and having to cut down the trees and the bushes and cut through the forest and make a path yourself. That's going to be a lot more challenging, but if you overcome it, you're going to have a lot stronger. You're going to have a lot stronger mindset, and it's sort of flipping the scenario to understand that what we deem as a struggle is actually the opportunity that we're looking for. We've literally been asking for this opportunity. Like I keep on saying in my live videos, I'm a believer in reincarnation. I'm a believer that we are here and we choose the life we come into to learn experiences. So all of us who are watching this right now, in my belief, we all chose to be here at this moment in time for this exact moment, for this struggle. We wanted to experience the type of struggle that society is going through currently. So we use it as an opportunity. We don't see it as a fear thing. We don't allow our human conditions to destroy our ability and our chance here to become better, to move on to the next plane, to raise ourselves higher energy. We use it as an opportunity to expand ourselves. And if you use it as the opportunity to expand yourself, well then you start suddenly becoming accustomed to embracing the fear of these struggles and seeing these struggles not as the problem, but as actually the path. And when you see it as the path, you embrace it easier and you go down it easier and you don't fear what's ahead of you, because you start understanding that whatever's ahead of you is there purposely. You chose it to be there at this specific time for you to overcome it, for you to become better, for you to become the next version of yourself that allows you to progress yourself further and further down the line. I see too many guys and girls happy in their comfort zone, but unhappy in it at the same time. They're happy to be there because it means they don't have to stretch themselves, but this inability to stretch themselves is what's causing them the pain of their existence and why they're not happy with their lives currently. But it's like this conflict we've got. We don't want to challenge ourselves, but we also don't want to be in where we are, because where we are is not making us happy. And we can't see the conflict. We're just going on as parallel and it's butting heads, and we're angry. And because we're angry, we haven't been able to go inside ourselves. We blame other people. We blame the situation. We blame the environment. We blame the job. We blame our partners. We blame our friends. We blame our family. We blame everyone. But we don't look in the mirror and look at our reflection and blame ourselves. Even though when we look deep inside ourselves and if we were totally honest, we would know that the only person that's to blame for our life is ourselves. We are our architects. And if we don't like what's happening, we can rub out that drawing and plot a new path. We can design a new building. We can design a new life if we're willing to go through the struggle. Unfortunately, a lot of us aren't. So I need you to think about that. I need you to consider that. What is coming down the road, whether it be the lockdowns or not, we have no control over that. But what we do have control over is how we react to it, how we prepare for it. Have we got the equipment we need to push ourselves through? Have we got the food stored up so that if shit hit the fan, that we're not worrying about feeding our families? Have we got everything? Have we got our eggs in our basket so that when the shit does hit the fan, we're prepared for it, and we can then focus our energy on the things we know are going to improve our lives, and not focus our mind towards the fears of what we don't have, simply because we weren't prepared for it, because we were ignorant enough to think everything was going to go back to normal. Do you know, it's life, how we're living now, it's going to be a struggle for a lot of us, but the struggle doesn't have to be the defining character of our lives. We can use this struggle to catapult ourselves to become the person we need to become. Through the struggle, we can grow, or through the struggle, we can allow the struggle to destroy us. It's entirely up to us. But it's something to think upon, because something's coming down the road soon, and if we're not ready for it, and we're not getting our minds prepared for it now, when it does hit, it's going to overwhelm us. At least if we've got the ability of hindsight, or the gift of hindsight, to see what happened before and apply what happened, the lessons we learned before, to the lessons of today, we know we're better prepared for what's ahead of us. And that alone is going to give us the strength to keep going forward. Anyway, see you tomorrow. Have a good day.